Hey everyone, peace and blessings to you. Decided to sit down and create a message on this Saturday before I move into my time of silence. And those that don't know, I take often I take either a day or 2 days per week, and I am unplugged. I am fasting, so there's no engagement, text, emails, phone calls, social media, right? I just fast from all of that kind of stuff. So, and I will be doing that this afternoon. So that's why I'm sending this message now, and also sending this message just because there's a little bit more to share than I normally do in the text, such as the text that went out this morning. Okay, so there's, what is there? 6 things that I want to talk about real quick. So the first thing is December 2nd, right? This was the message that went out this morning. 30 days. How are we utilizing these 30 days? And when we really break it down like that we have 30 days, we can create urgency. We can understand that there is work to be done and that we can have accomplishments each day, right? It's not that we're, where do you start with an elephant, right? I don't remember the exact phrase about, how do you eat an elephant or something like that. You start with one toe at a time kind of thing. So it's that kind of understanding, right? And that's what we do, is that we work just, one day at a time, one task at a time, regardless of the size of the project, right? Because most of us have multiple projects going on, and so it's just one task at a time on a particular project. Okay, so there's that. And so I highly, highly encourage you to be utilizing these days, right? Treat them as gifts. You are gifted 30 days. What are you doing in each of these 30 days that are in honor of you, that's in support of you, that is enabling you to transition into the life that you claim that you want? If you say that you want something, what are you willing to do? It takes work, right? There's work. So there's that. And then the second thing is, and I shared this earlier in the week, is like, keep going, right? And this is, a direct correlation of this, to number one. It's like, there's, right now we're all feeling stuff, right? We are all feeling some kind of ways. You see me with the attire that I'm wearing. We're in winter. I love winter, but my body doesn't love it. So I'm having to address that and work through that, right? And that's just one of the things I get to work through. Many are feeling, the effects of the time change. Many are feeling the fact that, we are shifting into winter, and people are getting sick. People are fatigued. They're being tired physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And, and in that, it's like, yes, I'm tired and I need to keep going. And so we do, we just, but it's modified than what it is during the summer, right? Because during the summer we have much more energy. So it's a modification of that level of activity. Just like me, I needed to take a nap today. Wasn't planning on it, but I needed to take a nap. So I had a break in the middle of the day, took a nap, then went out and ran the things that I needed to do and took care of things, and which brings me to now of being able to share this message with you. But we, so it's slowing down, right? And so that's just an example of how I'm adapting. And, some of you have heard me speak of this before, adaptability. I really find this a key character trait, that we're adaptable, because if we're not, we're really just making things that much more difficult for ourselves. And that's a big lesson for some of us, right? So, but we keep moving, we keep going, and there's just the third thing, right? And I'm having to compete with an airplane all of a sudden. But the third thing is that through all of this, we're expressing kindness for ourselves, right? It's really important that we're, that there's gentleness, that there's kindness, that there's compassion, right? That we aren't speaking ill to self about self. It's like, or to anyone else that we're, for that matter. It's like, be mindful with your thoughts and your words. It's all power, it's all energy. So be very mindful with that. And in that, look at how you're tending to yourself, how you're treating yourself. So it goes back to number one of how are you honoring yourself in these 30 days? Do things that are good for you, right? And my suggestion with this is don't take on too many activities. For me, I was sitting with this last night, and so for me, one of the things is making sure I stay in good health. As we enter the cold months, and as we're more prone to, that there's more flus and viruses. So that's one of my things of like, okay, let me make sure I'm doing what Michael needs to do for Michael to maintain a healthy, a strong immune system, right? So that's one of the things I'm working on. Second thing I'm working on is, and with that then, that really supports me in number two, which is, just being mindful with my diet. For some reason, I don't know why. If I look into it, I will know why, right? So I'm saying I don't know why at the surface, but if I look into it, I will know why. And, I don't know why that my diet's been bad, and it really hasn't been bad. Most of you know I have a pretty clean diet, but it hasn't been as clean as it has been, and I'm noticing it. I'm feeling it in the body. So then that's the second thing for me this winter is I'm looking at that. And the only reason I'm sharing these things with you is so that, you know that you can be working on multiple things, but just be very mindful because each of these things take time and energy. They all take time and energy. And so my third thing is with business, right? And so I'm just looking at my businesses because I have more than one business. And so it's like, how do I need to tend to each of those businesses, right? In this winter season, because we're shifting into winter. So now in December, I'll be spending a lot of time with that. Also in January, but come January, I'll be active in my businesses will be in that growth stage. I won't be waiting until, I'll be already in that growth stage of defining what everything is now come December. And so that way, come January 1st, everything's already in motion, right? I'm not on January 1st going, oh, what's 2024? Now, all of that's happening now. So I'm sharing that with you because those are like my three things, okay? So those shares. The other shares are, I'm excited for this time of the year, right? I really love this. I love the winter months, the autumn and winter. And I always haven't loved winter. There's been past years where it's been pretty tough because winter it's a death season. It's a death cycle, right? And it's purging. I mentioned this quite often. It's like, just look to the trees, look to the animals. They understand the hibernation. They understand the purging, right? They understand that the leaves are falling off, right? That there has to be those death cycles. And so we get to do that, right? We really get to go through our death cycles. And, this is part of what many of us are feeling right now as well, that we don't realize it, that all of that is going on. Right. And that's another reason we're feeling these different kinds of levels of funkiness because there's things to be cleared out. And, the subtle bodies understand it. The subconscious understands it. It's just the human aspect of us. It's kind of slow to the game on that. Okay. So in support of that, there's things that I'll be doing now in December. The December event postings, those should be out tonight, right? I'll stay online until I get those done. But I'll just verbalize for you what's happening now in December in support of December because I'm excited about it. So each week we'll be working on something different. Next week we're working on distractions. And so with distractions, like, that we can identify them and that we can acknowledge that we, jump into distractions because we don't want to be present with, the work that we have to do with the perceived discomfort, with acknowledging our bullshit, right? Just candidly. So, identifying distractions, that's one thing that's being offered now in December. Second thing is, being acknowledging, or no, not, acknowledging the pains, the hurts, the traumas, right? And, and what does that look like? And how do we work through that? Because again, this is the season for it. Letting all that shit go, right? And these weeks will build upon each other, so this will make more sense. And then the third talk, share exercises / class will be on, creating clarity. And so those are going to be the things that are going to be offered. And I'm thinking there's going to be another fourth one, but I'm not going to voice that yet because I'm not sure. I got to sit with that. So all of those are free offerings because, again, this is something else really, really important. We need to be supported, and it's important that we accept support and that we, when support's offered, that we accept the support. Okay, so those things are going on. All of those are free. The formal class will be the ancestors, right? And with the ancestors, it is, how are we to acknowledge and work with the ancestors and understand how they are very influential in our life and have an impact on our life, right? So that's an actual class that's going to be going on, as well as a crystal grid class. So those two formal classes will be going on now in December. And that's it, right? A relatively light schedule because this time of the year, again, for me, it's really important to have even more me time. I get me time every week, but I'm looking for even more me time now in December, to where it's going to be a couple days a week. Oh, the other thing that's going on is the book study group, right? And so that's Sundays at 3. So I am popping out of my, my hibernation hole on Sundays at 3 p.m. to be in the book study group. And the book that we are preparing to start is the laws of manifestation, because again, that's something that's, we should really be present with as we are going through our purging, as we're setting our intentions, as we're birthing into a new season, a new calendar year. All right, everyone, much love to you. Speak with you all soon. Stay well.